So, I think it's fair to say that we kind of lost the plot of What If towards the end there. And to be honest, I didn't even make it past episode 5. The show was entirely not what I expected it to be, and even the concept of what if everyone was a zombie was already too out there for me. To think how naive I was, I had no idea what Marvel had in store. Like, some of these I'm looking at right now going, what are we doing? However, as a fan, by nature, I am constantly thinking of what-if scenarios. In the biz, we refer to that as fan fiction, but I guess Marvel had to rebrand it so people would take it seriously. So here are some of the what-if scenarios I thought would have been really cool to see in this show. First, I'll go through the ones that I've already heard people suggest that I also agree would be cool. What if Wanda had died instead of Quicksilver in Age of Ultron? What if the other half of the Avengers were snapped by Thanos? What if Loki killed Thanos during the Avengers movie? Okay, now the ones I haven't heard before. 1. What if Peggy Carter was Tony Stark's mother? Listen, I know we're all sick and tired of girl boss Captain Carter, and so am I, but I think this is an actual, interesting, compelling way to use her character. And it's feasible, which a lot of these what-if scenarios are not. Howard and Peggy have flirty vibes in the first Captain America film, and it's honestly not too far of a reach to say that she would have married Howard after Steve's supposed death, and thus would have become Tony's mother. This would have made Cap and Tony's dynamic so messy, and you know I love mess. I just would love to see how Cap and Tony would act around each other if Cap had quite literally dated his mom in the 40s. And if Bucky, as the Winter Soldier, killed her. Oh my gosh, how insane would that be? The ramifications. Oh my gosh, I want to see it. 2. Unfortunately for most of y'all, these are going to be mostly Captain America adjacent because he's my favorite Avenger by a mile. So this next one I have is, what if Cap didn't get frozen in the ice? What I mean by this is, what if either he was found unconscious in the plane at the end of the first Captain America film and spent some time in the hospital but was ultimately fine, or maybe he does freeze in the ice but is recovered right after World War II ends. Basically, the scenario is me wondering what Cap would have done if he lived through the 50s, 60s, 70s, etc. Would he have fought in the Korean War? Would he have helped found S.H.I.E.L.D.? Would he have had kids with Peggy? Maybe he would have had a run-in with the Winter Soldier. Stuff like that would be so interesting to get into. 3. What if Bruce Banner was present for Civil War? I know Thor was also not present, but I would really be interested to see specifically what Bruce Banner would think about the Sokovia Accords. He is the most destructive and dangerous Avenger, so I honestly think he would side with Tony, which may have made the airport fight a bit more difficult for Team Cap. And we can't forget that the guy in charge of the Accords was Secretary Ross, who Bruce Banner has history with. Maybe they could have had some interesting interactions, or maybe we could have even seen Betty Ross again. 4. What if Tony Stark never revealed that he was Iron Man? What I mean by that is, if at the end of the first ever MCU movie, Iron Man, Tony says, "No, yeah, Iron Man's just my bodyguard. I hired him to protect the company, don't worry about it," instead of, "I am Iron Man." People have talked before about how that scene changed the entire superhero genre and how secret identities work, but what if it never happened? Would Avengers have played out differently if he refused to take off his mask in front of the other heroes? Aside from the people who already knew, who would he tell? It could even be a little one-off story about one of the smarter Avengers like Banner doing some detective work to deduce Iron Man's identity. But what do you think? Do you think these ideas are dumb? Do you think they'd be boring? Do you think they're just as silly and outlandish as the ideas that they actually went with in the show? And what are some ideas that you have for what-if episodes that never happened? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all.